Hey, it's Mr. Shrum again, and we are back to finish the energy flow tutorial. We looked at energy flow and forms of energy last time, and now we're going to look at the spheres of Earth. And the spheres of Earth are the systems that make up our planet, and we call them spheres. Each of those spheres represents a category of objects found here on Earth. The components of the spheres include living organisms, water, soil, and rock, and gases in the air. Can you identify an example of each sphere in the image? Got water, gases, soil, rock. That's what I found. And living organisms. There you go. Most geological processes are the result of interactions between these spheres. All of Earth's processes are guided by the natural flow of energy through the four spheres of Earth. So we have a lesson activity. In this activity, you will predict the flows of energy between Earth's spheres, study this picture, and then answer the questions that follow. So can you describe the interaction between corn, water, soil, and air in this image? How does energy flow? Well, like last time, well, not like last time, but we've talked about this before, perhaps in your other science classes, but energy from the sun shines down on Earth, the soil, on the plants, nutrients from the soil gets absorbed into the plants also absorb energy from the light. That goes into the corn. When it rains, or when the farmer waters the crops, those go into the plants as well. Air, the plants need to expel carbon dioxide into the air, or absorb carbon dioxide and then expel oxygen. Yeah, that's the correct way. And then the farmers will farm the corn, and they will get energy from that. So the sun flows from, or the energy flows from the sun to the corn plants, and from the soil to the corn plants, and then corn plants to the farmer once he's done. Describe the interaction between farmer and manufactured objects like the farming equipment. How does energy flow? Well, he uses energy to set the objects in motion, or the objects are powered by some type of electricity or a motor, which could be have a battery that is filled with chemical potential energy. And then that enables the equipment to move forward. So get creative with your responses. That's what I think on first glance. All of Earth's processes result from the flow of energy through the four spheres of Earth. So let's look at each of those in more detail. We have the geosphere that consists of all solid rock, soil, and minerals that make up Earth. Rocks are clumps of solid minerals, and those minerals are made up of different chemicals. The geosphere is structured into layers. Now this is the wave, and that is a rock formation in Arizona, and that is part of the geosphere. Look how pretty the layers are. The core is the innermost layer of the geosphere. It's right at the Earth's core. we have the inner core and outer core. The inner core contains mostly solid iron at very high temperatures and pressures. Then we have the outer core, and that outer core is molten liquid iron. The material in the outer core has a higher melting point than its surroundings. Next comes the mantle. Or not next, but the next thing we're talking about is the mantle. That is the thick layer in the middle of Earth. It's made of rock that is rich in iron. Scientists classify regions of the mantle based on the behavior of the rock in each region. Rocks in the top layer of the mantle are rigid and more brittle. They break apart more easily. This region is called the lithosphere. Just below the lithosphere is a more fluid layer of the mantle where rocks melt, and that's called the asthenosphere. So the mantle is this entire thing, and then that is further broken down into the lithosphere and the asthenosphere. And then finally, the last layer is the crust. It appears as rock and mud and takes the shape of hills and valleys. So we have the inner core to the outer core to the mantle that's broken up into the asthenosphere and lithosphere, and then the crust. Question. Consider a hard-boiled egg as a model of Earth's layer. Match the part of the egg with the corresponding layer of Earth. So going back to our Earth model, the very center of the egg would be a yolk. So that is the core, the very center of Earth. Next comes the mantle. That's the next layer. So that would be the white part, the egg whites. And then the outermost layer, our Earth's crust, resembles the egg shell. So we talked about the geosphere. Now we're talking about the hydrosphere, the layer of water on or near Earth's surface. It consists of water in its liquid, solid, and gaseous forms. Water is found on the surface of Earth, underground, and in our atmosphere as well. It covers 70% of Earth's surface. However, 97% of Earth's water is salty and found mostly in the ocean. So only 3% of Earth's water supply is fresh water fit for living organisms on land to use. This fresh water is found in rivers, lakes, and ice. However, not all of the fresh water is available as liquid. 2/3 of fresh water is in the form of ice in the polar ice caps and glaciers at high altitudes. This frozen water makes up the cryosphere. If you click on the cryosphere, that's the part of the hydrosphere that is made up of all frozen water on Earth. The remaining 1% of Earth's water is vital for living organisms which depend on liquid water to live. Next comes the atmosphere. The atmosphere is the envelope of gases that surrounds Earth. It's most dense at the surface and then extends hundreds of kilometers above the surface. Three main gases make up Earth's atmosphere, and those are nitrogen, which is 78% of the atmosphere. Oxygen is about 21% of the atmosphere. And then argon, carbon dioxide, and other gases make up less than 1% of our atmosphere. Carbon dioxide traps heat, which raises Earth's temperature, and that is good to a certain degree. That keeps us, it keeps the planet the planet livable for most of us. Now, the atmosphere consists of many layers. The air gets thinner and thinner in the upper layers. Main layers of the atmosphere are the troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and the exosphere. And those start at the surface and then move their way out to the exosphere. The ozone layer is an important layer of gas in the stratosphere. So that's right here. The ozone absorbs the sun's ultraviolet radiation, which in large doses could be harmful to living organisms. Next comes the biosphere. And the biosphere includes all living things on Earth, plants, animals, like you and me, and microscopic organisms. These life forms live in Earth's crust and in its atmosphere and oceans. The biosphere affects other spheres as well. Living things use water from the hydrosphere, minerals from the geosphere, and gases from the atmosphere. Plants absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen into the atmosphere. They also convert liquid from the hydrosphere into gas by drawing water from the soil and releasing it through their leaves through transpiration. Animals increase levels of carbon dioxide through respiration or breathing. Human activity is responsible for the greatest amount of change to all the spheres. So whenever we do mining, agriculture, farming, that has transformed the geosphere quite a bit. Industries release waste into rivers and oceans and pollutants into the air. But today, people have a raised awareness of these issues, and we're taking notable actions to preserve land, water, air quality, and the species living among us. So we've come quite a way. Humans were very willy-nilly before. I don't know if I can show this video, but I will download that and then upload it to our Canvas page so you can watch it there. Otherwise, I might get copyright strike on YouTube for that. Drag each label to the correct image. Each label can be used more than once. Match each image to the sphere where it is found. All right, I'm gonna unanswer that. And then it's more fun to do this. Living things are in the biosphere, grasshopper, lemurs. Huh? Yeah. Atmosphere, hydrosphere. So biosphere, living things, remember that. Hydro means water. Geosphere. Atmosphere. I think we got it. They included the grass as biosphere. Darn it, but remember that plants are technically living things and not the soil. The soil itself is not the geosphere. That's more rock. But don't worry about mistakes. Mistakes are fine in science as long as you learn from them. A landslide is a geological event caused by interactions between the four spheres. This landslide occurred after several weeks of steady rainfall. Explain how the landslide occurred in terms of potential energy and kinetic energy. So if you look at that picture, it kept raining and raining, and then all of a sudden, the land just slid. The rock and soil had gravitational potential energy at the edge of the road overlooking the river. The rain added mass and caused the rock and soil to loosen. The rock and soil gained kinetic energy as it slid down into the river. So in this question, it's asking, how did the spheres of Earth interact and cause this landslide? Will rain from the atmosphere cause the water to fall? This water loosened the soil and rock in the geosphere. The landslide negatively affected nearby plants or animals in the biosphere, and it dumped debris into the river, affecting the hydrosphere. And that's the end of the energy flow lesson. Pretty easy compared to other stuff. Not a ton of math in that section, but I hope you enjoyed that lesson and know a little bit more about how energy flows from different forms. It changes forms into one another. Different spheres of the earth interact, and that also allows energy to flow in different forms. And I will see you all next time. Have a great rest of your week. See you later.